The seventh and final stakes race on Saturday at Santa Anita is the Grade 1 Hollywood Gold Cup. It's race 10 on the 11-race card. And yes, I did say the Hollywood Gold Cup. It's the first time since 2013 we have been able to call this mile and 1/4 race the Hollywood Gold Cup. That was the year that Hollywood Park Racetrack closed. This race was moved to Santa Anita. For the last 6 years, it's been called the Gold Cup at Santa Anita. But Santa Anita, to their credit, recently announced a restoration of the old traditional name to Hollywood Gold Cup. This is a race that has been won by the likes of Native Diver, Affirmed, Lava Man, Cigar, Skip Away, Seabiscuit way back in 1938. So it's nice to see Santa Anita pay homage to the long tradition of this mile and 1/4 handicap division race. And it's time for a reset of the local handicap division. This is the division that could certainly use some depth. At the start of the year, it looked like Higher Power would be among the leaders of the division, at least out here in California, but he went to Florida and completely misfired. Midcourt was unable to stay the distance, going a mile and 1/4 in the big cap. There are a lot of questions to be answered, hopefully, in the Hollywood Gold Cup on Saturday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the field. A field of 6 lined up for this mile and 1/4 race. And the favorite on the morning line, John White's morning line, by the way, he's the track line maker at Santa Anita. Higher Power, he will be the 9-5 morning line favorite, despite the fact that he finished 10th and last in his most recent start way back in January. Well, the reason he's the favorite is because he is arguably the best horse in the race. Actually, not arguably. He is the best horse in the race going in. But does he have to win first start back? Not necessarily. The co-second choices on the morning line, both listed at 2-1, are Midcourt, finished third in the big cap, and number 5, Improbable, who has not won an important race since December of 2018. Tenfold ships in from the Midwest, and then we have a couple of long shots, potential pace setter Brown Storm and Parsimony, who happens to be the only horse in the field coming in off a win, and he's likely to be the longest shot in the field. So there are questions to be answered for sure. And Higher Power, although he finished 10th and last in the Pegasus down in Florida early this year in January, he actually came out of the race with an excuse. He was fighting some sort of infection. His white blood count was way off, and he also, as it turns out, was compromised by stomach ulcers. Well, everything has been cleared up. He has been training well, and Higher Power is proven at a mile and 1/4. He won the Pacific Classic last summer, finished third in the Breeders' Cup Classic at this mile and 1/4 distance. And as I mentioned earlier, he's the best horse in the race. And if he is dead fit, he can win first start back. However, he is no sure thing. Not only the layoff, but he also has a habit of getting anxious and unsettled inside the starting gate. And we're going to take a look at a couple of examples of Higher Power basically blowing his opportunity to win a race by breaking slowly. And the first video that we're going to show is on September 28th in the Awesome Again. This is his first start since winning the Breeders' Cup or the Pacific Classic. And look at Higher Power down on the inside. He stumbled at the break completely. I think he lost all chance. He stumbled, was away poorly, and had to try to rally. This is a horse who runs best when he is forwardly placed. At least that's how he won the Pacific Classic. Okay, maybe you can forgive him for one of those races, but then in the Breeders' Cup Classic, he was away slowly again, Higher Power was, and he ended up finishing third behind Vino Rosso. By the way, Vino Rosso is the horse who won the Hollywood Gold Cup, or this race, I should say, 1 year ago. My point is this: Higher Power, when he breaks slowly, he is compromised, but when he breaks well, like he did in the Pacific Classic, this was the breakout performance for Higher Power. He won in an absolute romp. He earned a 107 Beyer speed figure, and that race is the best race of anybody in this field. Let's go back and talk about another horse who broke slowly, has a habit of breaking slowly, and that is Midcourt. On December 28th, Midcourt was favored, or second choice actually, in the San Antonio, and he was away slowly. This is a horse who was forwardly placed in his previous win. He broke slowly, and he kind of lost his chance early. Now watch what happens here. Midcourt is sent away from the gate. This is in the San Pasquale. Victor Espinoza asked him for speed. He made the lead, and he was long gone. Midcourt, wire to wire in the San Pasquale. And this was kind of a la Higher Power in the Pacific Classic. This was a breakout performance for Midcourt, and he won very impressively. Next time out, however, odds on to win the Santa Anita Handicap in early March. As we take a look at the stretch run of the Santa Anita Handicap, this was a brutal stretch run because nobody really wanted to pick up their feet and try to win the race. Turns out that Combatant, a long shot, came storming down the center of the track to win going away. And Midcourt at 3-5, I don't know if he didn't want to get the 1.25 miles or what, but this was a disappointing third place finish by Midcourt in his first try at a 1.25 miles. I suspect he might have distance limitations. I'm not sure about that at all. And the way he won his 1 1/8 races would suggest that a 1.25 miles should be just fine. Now, what about Improbable? I said he hasn't won a major race since December 2018, which is true, but his most recent start was a lot better than that runner-up finish suggests. And it was April 11th at Oaklawn Park, and Improbable breaking from the outside post number 11 of 11, going a mile at Oaklawn Park, and poor Improbable was wide every step of the way. 4 wide on both turns. He opened up in mid-stretch, and he got worn down by Tom's Deata, who is arguably the top, well, he is the top handicap horse in the Midwest. The point is this: Improbable ran well in defeat. Now, the question on Saturday is, can Improbable really get a 1.25 miles? I don't know. I don't know if Higher Power will fire first start back, and I don't know if Midcourt might also be compromised by the distance. What about Tenfold shipping in for trainer Steve Asmussen? You can make a case for Tenfold if you can overlook the fact that Tenfold finished out of the money in 7 consecutive races. I don't think Asmussen would be putting Tenfold on a plane unless Tenfold was doing well, and if Asmussen had not already analyzed the Gold Cup field and realized that this might be the best time, the best opportunity for Tenfold, a 5-year-old by Curlin, to possibly spring an upset. We saw the exact same thing 1 year ago when Todd Pletcher sent Vino Rosso, a son of Curlin, to California off a nondescript sprint, and he sprang the upset. Now, Vino Rosso turned out to be a lot better than any of us could have imagined last summer. He ended up winning the Breeders' Cup Classic. My point is this. This is a race that could go any number of ways. I picked Improbable. I'm not in love with him at 2-1. He should get a great trip, forwardly placed, either setting the pace or pressing Brown Storm from the outside. Higher Power is the best horse. This might be a prep race for the Pacific Classic this summer at Del Mar. Midcourt, if he wins, I'm just going to flat lose. And Tenfold, an upset chance from the back of the pack. Even Brown Storm has a chance on the front end. It's a wide open renewal of the Hollywood Gold Cup. It'll be run Saturday at Santa Anita. I picked Improbable. I'm going to spread the race. A wide open Gold Cup, race 10, Saturday at Santa Anita.